We are absolutely drowning in Souls-likes. Seriously, it feels like you can't throw a rock without hitting a game that promises punishing difficulty, stamina bars, and bonfire checkpoints. And honestly, I'm getting a little fatigued, you know? It's like, how many times can we do the same thing before it just gets old? So when I first heard about a new one called Valor Mortis, I was kind of ready to just shrug and move on. But then I saw the trailer. And the first thing that hit me, the thing that made me actually sit up and pay attention, was this. It's a first-person Souls-like. My brain just kind of short-circuited for a second. Wait, what? How does that even work? I mean, the entire genre, its whole combat rhythm is built around that third-person camera, right? Being able to see enemy wind-ups, manage your spacing, keep an eye on everything around you. Shifting to first person, that's not just a new coat of paint. That changes everything. It's a massive gamble. But the more I looked into it, I started thinking, okay, hold on, these guys might actually be onto something huge here. Seriously, don't sleep on this one. So let me break it down for you. The setting is this super dark, twisted alternate history in the 19th century. Think Napoleon's invasion of Europe, but a fictionalized, nightmarish version of it. There's this mysterious, supernatural plague that's tearing across the continent, and it's not just your typical sickness, it's warping reality. It's turning the battlefields of Eastern Europe into these gothic hellscapes, and it's mutating soldiers into, well, into things you'd see in your worst nightmares. The whole atmosphere is just dripping with this grimy gunpowder and blood-soaked horror. It totally nails the vibe. You play as a guy named William. You're a soldier in the Grand Armée, just another cog in the war machine, until you get killed in action. But that's where your story begins. You're reborn, brought back to life by the very plague that's destroying the world. And here's the real hook. You're reborn with its unholy power flowing through you. This is the core of the whole experience, and it's such a smart narrative justification for the Souls-like loop. Every single time you die, you're not just failing a gameplay challenge. In the story, the plague's grip on you tightens, and you actually come back stronger. Failure is literally your path to power. But let's get to the real meat of it, the part we all care about, the gameplay. Because a cool concept is nothing if the game feels clunky, especially in a genre that demands precision. Being in first person means the combat is designed to be visceral, immediate, and honestly kind of terrifying. You're not watching a little character model dodge an attack. You're seeing a 7-foot-tall mutated grenadier screaming, swinging a rusted saber at your face, and you have to time your parry in that split second. The intensity is just on another level. And the team they're making it, it's one more level. The same studio that made Ghostrunner. If you've played that, you know they are masters of fluid, fast, and satisfying first-person action. They've even said their influences for Valor Mortis are a mix of Dark Souls for its brutal, methodical combat, and Dishonored for its creative first-person abilities and movement. That combination alone is enough to get me hyped. It's right up my alley. So your combat loadout is built around this really cool dual-wielding system. In one hand, you've always got a saber, your trusty Napoleonic blade for all the up-close and personal work, but your other hand is where you get to define your playstyle. You can either equip a flintlock pistol to stagger enemies or hit weak points from a safe distance, or you can tap into those plague powers, the transmutations. And these aren't just fireballs either. We're talking about unleashing blasts of shadowy energy, conjuring flame-fueled attacks, and even manipulating the battlefield itself. Imagine the flow of combat. You step into a ruined courtyard, parry a bayonet thrust from a mutated infantryman, spin around and use a transmutation to send another one flying, then quick draw your pistol to pop a sharpshooter on a balcony before he can reload. It encourages this creative, on-the-fly tactical thinking that feels like a total blast. And of course, when you break an enemy's posture, you can go in for a finisher. And from what they've shown, they are appropriately gruesome and satisfying. Now let's talk about something that any Souls-like veteran will appreciate. You know that feeling, right? You finally make it to the boss, you learn a few of its moves, you get it down to a sliver of health, and then you get greedy and die. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, is that long, frustrating run back through all the enemies you just fought just to reclaim your souls and get another shot. It can kill the momentum. Well, the devs at One More Level clearly get it because they've made a design choice that is just chef's kiss. When you die to a boss, your dropped currency, they call it catalysts here, respawns right outside the boss arena. No soul-crushing corpse run required. It's a simple, elegant solution that respects your time and keeps you focused on the actual challenge. It shows a deep understanding of what makes the genre fun and what just makes it tedious. The world itself is what really sells the whole package for me. It's not just a generic fantasy land, it's our own history, corrupted. You're not fighting some random orcs and goblins, you're fighting the twisted remnants of Napoleon's Grand Armée. They're taking real-world historical elements and infusing them with the supernatural horror. They're showing off one boss, a general nicknamed the Eagle Bearer, who was historically the guy who carried the troop's standard into the battle. In the game, he's this grotesque monster whose body has literally fused with the massive flagpole and eagle standard, and now he swings that around like a colossal, devastating weapon. That concept is just so cool, and it opens up so many possibilities. What other historical figures are we going to see twisted by this plague? Mutated generals with grotesque powers based on their military tactics? Cavalrymen fused with their skeletal horses? The potential for creative and memorable boss fights is off the charts. The design here, the way they're blending real-world iconography with body horror, man, it's a masterclass in concept art, seriously. They're building a world that feels both familiar and terrifyingly alien at the same time. And there's a real story here, a mystery to unravel. What is this plague? Was it a weapon that went wrong? Did Napoleon's ambition lead him to meddle with things man was not meant to know? The levels are supposedly built with a Metroidvania-like philosophy, encouraging you to explore, backtrack, and uncover secrets. You'll be piecing together the lore through the environment, finding notes and slowly understanding the scope of the catastrophe. It's not just a gauntlet of fights, it's a world with a history and a story to tell. Look, I know I'm sounding super excited, but I'm also trying to keep my expectations in check. A first-person Souls-like is an incredibly ambitious idea. It could feel clunky, situational awareness could be a nightmare when you're getting mobbed. There's a lot that could go wrong. This is all based on trailers and some early gameplay slices. It's a concept that has to be executed perfectly to work. The game is not scheduled to come out until 2026. I would much rather they take all the time they need to polish this thing to a mirror shine than rush it out the door. A game this ambitious deserves that. So at the end of the day, what is Valor Mortis? It's a bold attempt to innovate in a genre that's becoming dangerously formulaic. It's taking the core tenets we love, the challenging combat, the intricate world design, the satisfaction of overcoming impossible odds, and filtering it through a new, deeply immersive perspective. It's a gamble for sure, but it's one of the most exciting and promising gambles I've seen in gaming in a long time. It feels like it's being made with genuine passion. So that's the lowdown on Valor Mortis. It's a game that is firmly, squarely on my most wanted list. It's got the pedigree, it's got the concept, and it's got the style. We'll see if they can stick the landing, but the potential here is just massive. Stay informed, stay excited.